And it's Wally's car. Dad's just kind of like scooping right in there.
Hey, it works.
Well, Arthur didn't have. Arthur was just a poor preacher. He couldn't afford a car.
So tell him how Dad proposed.
That's kind of. There's nothing to that.
Yes, there is.
We've never heard it.
Well, let's see. Besides helping at the church preaching for Auntie, he did cement work, and they had just put they called it a culvert through our farm to the road, and they built a nice entrance to the canal off of the road, but 6 feet higher, but it was only about 4 feet off the highway. So when he decided to propose to me, we walked down the road, and he sat me up on that deal and said he would never be a rich man. He would always do the will of the Lord, and would I marry him? And I said I would, so what's left to that? You know the rest of the story.
How many children later, right?
Yeah. They said every time we went to convention, we had a new baby and a new car.
That's true.
That's the truth.
Well, yeah, every 5 years.
Yeah.
All right, I want to hear my favorite story.
What one?
The one where you didn't have any money and Uncle Bud was Santa Claus.
Oh, that was.
I want to hear that.
That was the stupidest thing we ever did. You want to know of something stupid? Our house was we had a cute little house. He had bought an old house in Turlock, and that was after he was married, and had 3 kids. Becky was just 6 months old. No, Peggy. Peggy was 6 months old.
Okay.
And he decides, some of the ministers back east wanted him to come for a revival at Christmas time during the war. And he said, well, we'll rent a place and I can come back and forth, after my meetings and be at home. Well, there was no places to rent. Crummy old places. And the offerings was terrible. We just have lived by faith all our lives, so it was nothing. And at Christmas time, Donnie came struggling home. Donnie was 10, so I guess he was about in 3rd, 4th
How come
grade.
you was going to school back there when you were evangelizing? Had you been there that long?
Yeah, we went in August, and he started school, and Sister, can't think of her name, a very famous preacher's wife, took Donnie downtown and bought him a pair of nice boots and a nice jacket. He knew what the weather would be like. But the rest of the kids got along the best they could. But then came Christmas, and Donnie came home with a scrubby old tree. He was the only kid in the class that didn't have a Christmas tree. Didn't have hardly any leaves, and I said, well, Donnie, we haven't got anything to decorate a tree with. So we strung paper colored, how we used to do. And made chains and popcorn, and I bought a chicken, made dressing, and we sat down to eat, and Arthur couldn't pray. He said, baby, I can't do it. So that was sad. And we made the best of it. And he said, this is the end. We're going home the following week. We didn't have any money, and the mail came, and it was $100 from my brother.
Wow.
How much was it?
$100, and then that was $100.
That was in the 1940s.
That could bring us home, yeah.
And didn't he send gifts to the kids?
Huh?
Didn't he send gifts to the kids?
I don't remember. It seems like it. Yeah, it seems like he did. But Bud has always done that.
Bud's always been our Santa Claus.
He's always been our Santa Claus. But that was the end of our travels.
Still, yeah.
And then we came home, and then Betty we came home in January, and May, Betty got very ill.
What was her first symptoms?
Well, the doctor said it was just the flu. We had to take her in every day, and
Did that to my cousin and my aunt.
yeah, they said it was a flu. They gave her a shot every day, But her arm went limp, so my mother knew it was something worse than the flu. Meantime, we moved to Sacramento, and they made her take hot baths at the hospital. Nothing helped. Like,
Did it hurt? Was she in pain?
well, sure. At one time, she was super at anything she did. She was just a little kid, and they were playing house, and we had a gate at the house, side of the house. I was in their bedroom, so I was right by the gate, and I heard her say, "You kids open the gate. Don't you know I can't use my arm?" And I called her in, and I said, "What did you tell those kids?" And I said, "Don't you ever let me hear you say that again." I said, "You can do anything they can do. Just make up your mind." So that was it. And then when she started school, when she was in high school, I went to the teacher then and told her that she would be embarrassed to dress in front of the girls. So she came home one day and said, "Oh, you know, I'm kind of favorite." She said, "They gave me a private dressing room." Oh, well, that was nice. And she said, "But I don't like it."
Oh.
She said, "I'm not any different than the rest of them."
Well, you taught her that, though.
Yeah. And I did the same when it came to typing. I said, "She can't type like other kids because 3 of her fingers didn't work." And she said, "Let her do it at her own speed." I said, "Well, don't tell her I ever was in here."
She could type like the wind.
Oh, well, she's fastest typist they had, and she was that way in volleyball too. With swimming, she can overcome anything.
Yeah, my cousin and my aunt, which was his mother, they both came down and the doctor said they just had the flu. Well, my cousin was 5 and he'd go out and get the paper and come back in. Well, the neighbor guy watched him, and so he told my uncle, he said, "Did you know when Kenny goes out to get your paper, he can't get up and he crawls to the car to pull himself up to get back in?"
Nobody knew that.
Well, did he
Oh, let Al speak.
be all right? Was he all
Yeah,
right
he
when
wasn't crippled, but my aunt was. My aunt, it left my aunt. She had to walk with crutches for quite a while, and then she could use a cane. And then she got where she didn't have to use any, but she limped.
Well, Ricky Van Hoos, Lori left. He had polio the same time, and he was in an iron lung.
Really? Rick Van Hoos?
Rick Van Hoos,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
You wouldn't know it now because they brought him out of it.
Huh.
Just being in that iron lung for so long. But he and Betty were sick at the same time.
I didn't know that.
Wayne Clark got polio. Wayne Clark got polio when they were our